Okay, so let us first start with matrix. What is a matrix and why do we require matrices? So first of all, let me start with this basic definition that why matrices are required at all. So this is the first thing that could be answered. So here, the requirement of matrices lies in the fact that we have a lot of data which is present with us in many forms. So a very good way to represent any data is representing it through the form of matrices. So we can handle a large amount of data and information from matrices, and whenever we wanted to make some calculations out of that data, matrices play a very important role. For example, so let me give you example for a large data and how matrices play a useful tool when we have such a large amount of data with us. Suppose the task that has been given is that collect all the data of all the students, and in that data we are required to calculate the marks for every student for every subject. Now this would be because there are so many classes, there are so many courses, and for each courses you have so many subjects. So you see we how many such data that is going to be available to you, right? So now what you can do, you can create a very large matrix for that. This is one thing, and then you can list down everything. If that is a 2 cross 2 thing, that means you just have a class and a subject, but in this case you also have a student with you, so that means you require 3 information points in this. So in this case we just cannot use these matrices. So what we can do instead is, instead of creating this large matrix or a large array of data, what we can do, we can create a data, or you can say we can create a matrix for single class, and the number of such matrices would vary for different classes. For example, if I am talking about your class only, BBA, right, or BCom, so in this case I can on the left hand side take students according to their roll number or name, whatever is required, right? First student, second student, third student, fourth student, and so on. And here I can list down the subjects. For example, right now we are studying business mathematics, or one subject could be linear algebra, or you have business, right, or any other subject. So all the subjects are listed here and all the students are listed here. So I can mark down the marks for this particular student for this particular subject is this one, and then this one, this one, this one, and so on. So you see I have different numbers listed down here in the form of array, where each number corresponds to certain subject and each number here corresponds to certain student. So you see how easy it is to look at this data and to tell which marks belong to which student and which subject. So that now if I have to make calculation, it would be much more easier for me to make such calculation, because say if a subject teacher from business mathematics wanted to see how have the students scored in their subject, so in that case I can directly take the average of all these numbers and then make a conclusion here. Or if I wanted to see the performance of a particular student for all the subjects, so what I can do, I can have a look at this particular line, which I am calling this horizontal line as row. So here also we can have a look at all the data points and we can see how by taking the average, what is the average performance of this student n, right? Say, so this is the idea. So we can list down all the data in form of matrices. So what is a matrix basically? So we are listing and arranging listing and arranging data. It could be number, it could be some other information, but in mathematics we usually deal with numbers, so we are just taking numbers. So we are listing and arranging data as array, where each row and each column would have different meanings according to the different data, right? So this is how we can define a particular matrix, right? The matrices that we are dealing with usually consist of, so for example, let me give you an example here. Say we have a matrix 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. This is one kind of matrix. I can call this as matrix A. So we usually represent any matrix as capital letters through capital letters, and we use square brackets to denote the matrix, right? And all the numbers are listed like this. So here you have to see that how many rows are present. So by row I mean the horizontal data. So we have 3 rows for this matrix. We have 3 rows for this matrix. So we call this as the first row, this as the second row, this as the third row. And similarly, whatever is the data that is present as column, that is the vertical data, so we call that as column. So in this case we have 3 columns. This is the column 1, this is the column 2, and this is the column 3. So this is the first column, this is the second column, this is the third column. And for rows we have this as the first row, this as the second row, and this as the third row, right? Now this is about rows and columns. Now when we talk about rows and columns, immediately a thing that comes to our mind is order of the matrix. Now what is the order of the matrix? So if you see, we define the order of matrix by writing number of rows times the number of columns of that matrix. So in this case, because we have in total 3 rows and 3 columns, so we got the number of rows as 3, and we just put the symbol of cross, that means times here, and number of columns is again equal to 3. So the order in this case is 3 cross 3. So that means we have 3 rows and 3 columns. So this is the information. Next, after this information, we also have another thing. That means we also name the elements. So how do we name the elements? First of all, we do that according to the position. So suppose this is some matrix. Let me take a 3 cross 3 matrix only. So if I'm writing the matrix as capital A, so I'm writing individual elements as small a, so that each element would differ by the index, and that is represented by the position. So if you see, this is your first row, this is your second row, this way, and this is your third row this way, and this is our first column, this is our second column, and this is our third column. Now if you talk about this particular element, this is present in the first row and first column, so we use the index 1 and 1 here. The first index is used A, I, J. So here I represent the row index and J represents the column index, right? So in this case we have 1 and 1 because the row index is 1 and the column index is also 1. So for the second element here we have 1 for the first row and 2 for the second column, and here it would be similarly 1 and 3. Next, for this particular element we are now in the second row, so it would be 2 here, and we are in the first column, so it would be 1. So A 2 1. next would be A22, next would be A23, next element here. Now because we are in the third row, so it would be A3 and the first column, so A31, then A32 and then A33. So this is the position or the name of each of the element. So you should please make a note of this thing, that how we can write this matrix here.